On this week's episode of the Books, Booze, and BS podcast, we discuss Meet the Newmans by Jennifer Niven. We also discuss our favorite and least favorite parts of TV sitcoms. Welcome to this week's episode. I am your host, Mike Jakubowski. I'm joined this evening by Sarah, Katie, and Crystal. Everyone say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Crystal's not going to say hi. It's fine. So we will...
Oh, no, I did. I said same time as Sarah. Hi.
Oh, okay. We'll let it slide then. Let's start out with what's everyone drinking tonight? We'll start with Crystal.
I am boring and boozeless, but I am drinking a Yuletide toddy tea, which is cranberry, orange, and spice.
Very festive.
Yeah.
Katie?
So I really had planned to do something different, but then the weather was awful last night. We had a huge storm and it was crazy, and I didn't feel like going out today because it started snowing in Knoxville in March out of nowhere. So I had planned to drink a pickle martini, but instead I'm just drinking vodka and green tea.
I heard that today the temperature hit the 70s and now it feels like 20 degrees there.
Yes, and we had snow, like literally snow. It was weird. Very weird.
Well, I'm glad it was you and not us. Although we're getting like crazy amount of rain today.
Yes. Yeah.
Sarah, drink?
I am drinking a tequila, cranberry, and ginger lime seltzer.
Never would have thought to put tequila with cranberry.
Why not?
I don't know.
It's quite
Actually
good.
sounds really good. Yeah.
I'm surprised when I hadn't taken a sip until like right before we started recording. I'm like, ooh, this is delightful.
I think my brain just always goes right to vodka for cranberry.
Well, that was my original plan, and then I opened the cabinet and we had none.
And this episode will come out a couple weeks after, but we are recording the day before St. Patrick's Day. So my drink is a Lucky Charms espresso martini. I soaked the Baileys in Lucky Charms for like 2 hours before making the drink. It's quite delightful.
Wow.
I sprinkled some Lucky Charm pieces on top.
That's so fancy.
So fancy.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, that puts me to shame since my birthday's on St. Patrick's Day. I probably should have gone festive.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Did you, are you following through with your plans that you wanted to do, Katie? Did you find anyone?
Oh my God, what were my plans?
Tattoo?
Oh, yes. Actually, that's really funny you say that because my friend texted me today and said, after we go get tattoos tomorrow, we can go out to this St. Patrick's Day birthday bash. And I said, one, I forgot about the tattoos. And then two, I don't go out on St. Patrick's Day anymore because I'm too old for that shit. So I think the answer is no. We're not going to follow through on that, but that's okay.
But what is the tattoo? Because you're talking to a very heavily tattooed girl who is obsessed. So I need to know.
I'm so jealous. Well, I have a few ideas. Like I have something that I want from, like my mother passed and her favorite flower was daffodils, and she always said, "I love you more than grits." So I want to get a daffodil with her handwriting that says, "I love you more than grits." Clearly, I'm from the South, but another thing I want to do, and I haven't told my friends yet, I want all of my best friends to draw a flower, like just in their natural drawing, because they all claim to not have any artistic talent. And then I want to put them together in a vase and have that tattooed as well.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
Awesome.
But I have 0 tattoos, and I'm coming to them late in life, but I definitely want them.
I'm excited for you.
I think you should still go get one.
Maybe I'll get a wild hair tomorrow.
Do it.
Do it. I like you said, a wild hair. What a Southern thing to say. Did anyone else make the treat of the week, which was a whipped brie with whatever topping you wanted on it? Katie, I think you did.
Well, my boyfriend did, per the usual. So we did it just a few hours earlier, and I don't know. It didn't feel like it whipped, as he would say. It didn't so much whip, but it definitely Nae-Nae-Ed, and that can fill our age a little bit. It just didn't look super smooth, and I haven't tried it yet, but we gave a little bit to our dog, and she seemed to like it.
We
did make it.
I made it as well, but I Your description just puts mine to shame. I can't.
Did yours also only Nae-Nae and not whip, Crystal?
No, mine did whip though. It did whip. It was good. It was a nice little snack today as well. I did use Mike's hot honey instead of regular honey on it to give it a little extra with the fig. I loved it. Husband said it was okay, but I also love Brie and he could care less.
Sarah, you didn't make it, right?
I didn't, and I apologize to be the slacker, but much like Crystal's husband, my husband doesn't love Brie, and so I didn't want to be sitting there eating it all by myself. I mean, I did, but I didn't.
There was no shame. It was me on the couch with a book eating the entire thing yesterday, and then when I got stressed at work today, it was my snack all afternoon.
That's delicious. No, I was telling Mike I'm doing a competition at the gym, so I'm supposed to be being somewhat good. Thus the tequila tonight. I figured that's low carb.
There you go.
And so I think I also ran into a Nae-Nae situation rather than the whip. And I think it's because when I made it, I missed the step saying bring it to room temperature. And I microwaved it for 10 seconds to kind of soften it a little bit. So it got a little whip, but not I don't think probably what Crystal's was. It was still tasty though.
I definitely let it go to room temperature, and I got to use my food processor for the first time, so I was all excited yesterday.
Oh, see, I went mixer with it.
Yeah, I don't have a food processor. I went mixer as well. And I don't think we got fully to room temperature. We tried, but we were on a time crunch. And by we, I mean Marshall was on a time crunch before 7 o'clock. So, but I appreciated him doing it, so I could say I made it, or he made it.
I did do mine with cherry jam versus the fig jam.
I did blueberry jam.
How was the cherry and blueberry with it, though?
Cherry was good.
Ooh, I'll have to switch it up.
I'll have to report back.
It
I'll have to report back because I haven't tried it.
It definitely went well with the pistachios on top. Speaking of food, what was everyone's best bite of the past week? We'll start with Sarah.
Forgot about this question. My best bite of... Can we come back to me?
Yes.
We were having a craving and did Sushi House this weekend, and that was the best. All-you-can-eat sushi was the perfect thing that day.
I haven't been to Sushi House in a very long time.
It was the one in Rocky Hill,
Hill.
not the one in Southington. Yeah.
Oh, I only know the one in Rocky Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's one in Southington, too. Yeah. But was totally worth it. Random Saturday choosing. Perfect.
Katie?
So my best bite was some jambalaya that Marshall made. It was a recipe from my mom that I hadn't had in years, and I just randomly asked him to make it, and he got the ingredients, and then I was like, oh, this is so good. I don't think it was like super awesome jambalaya, but I think it was because of the nostalgia that I just really liked it. And surprisingly, when we ate it, any leftovers, we put it in tortillas because we will put anything in a tortilla, and it actually made a good wrap jambalaya taco, as we called it, as well.
What do you call it when you make your crock pot recipes?
Goop.
Goop. That's right.
Goop. We had goop this past week too, and it was also really good.
What was in the goop this week?
It was, well, we did ground beef and then did a mixture to go with the ground beef because we didn't put the ground beef in the crock pot. And it was sort of like a combination chili taco seasoning, which actually worked really great together. So there was that.
All right, so it's chili taco goop.
Chili taco goop.
Sarah, have you thought of anything you ate in the past week?
Sorry, I had to think about what I've done in the past week and I couldn't. We went out to a really good restaurant in Mystic called Bravo Bravo on Saturday with some friends, and it was delicious. And this is kind of cheating, but my best bite was a French martini, which I know isn't a bite, but it was one of the best French martinis. But their bread was fresh out of the oven, and they have like a nice little tapenade and oils with it, and that was my best bite, the French martini with the bread.
The combo, got it.
Yeah.
Love.
My best bite went to Jay Gilbert's on Saturday, and their creamed corn side dish. Best bite.
Yum.
Has big old bacon chunks in it. It's so good.
I've heard y'all talk about Jay Gilbert so many times on this podcast. I swear I'm going to have to go next time I'm in Connecticut.
We'll come
You know,
to you.
I've never been there. And I'm from here, and I've never been there.
I always say it's nice because compared to the other steakhouses, your steak comes with sides versus they have to pay for multiple sides.
Right, and it's fancy, but it's not that expensive, especially for what you get. You know, you get a good amount of food, and we always have leftovers.
Gonna have to add that into date night rotation.
Yeah,
I think you need to. And then put yourself on the birthday list because they send you a $25 coupon for your birthday.
I might just put myself on the birthday list just to get the $25 coupon and then go.
and you get an anniversary coupon too for I think you get a dessert or something.
All right, so let's jump into the book. This week was Meet the Newmans by Jennifer Niven. We'll go over our overall thoughts of the book. Did you enjoy it? What things didn't you enjoy? Did you have any favorite passages or quotes? We will start with Katie.
So I really enjoy this book for a lot of reasons. I love old sitcoms, so that'll play in later with some of the future questions, but it was very nostalgic for me. And also I'm at a really angry time in my life, I feel like, with something. So I really related to Juliet, one of the characters, how she seemed to be always angry, but learning as she was working through her anger. I really love the dynamic between Dinah and Juliet. It was kind of like two different generations trying to coexist, which I thought was really great. And then I thought there was some really good variety in the characters playing this wholesome family on this 1950s into the 1960s sitcom where you had Shep, who was like the wild child, the rock star, and then you had Guy and his relationship with Kelly, which I think is something that was probably very prevalent during that time. And I actually ended up going and watching the Rock Hudson documentary on, I think it's Amazon afterwards. And I just think that was just such a unique time in Hollywood that I really loved it. I also thought the whole premise of the 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 man of the house, so to say, experiencing this trauma and the whole family trying to rally together to keep it going, and then after he comes out of his coma, sorry, spoiler alert, how Dell had so many like learnings and kind of a different outlook on life. I really enjoyed the whole thing, and I think Jennifer Niven, it's not the first book I've read by her. I really like her writing a lot, and I just like how relatable a lot of her characters are. So I would say overall, this was a 5-star book for me, and I related to a lot of the characters from a nostalgic standpoint and from just like a anger with the time standpoint. And then just some of my favorite scenes, like I really love how Juliet dealt with her coworkers, being a female in a male dominated profession, especially the bar scene where she ran up their bar tab.
Yes.
I love that. And I liked all of the accountability Juliet tries to like hold Dinah to. I think like one of my favorite sections is when she tries to start talking about like, think of the women trying to live up to you, but no one can. It's impossible. I think with a lot of things then with sitcoms and then just a lot of things now with like social media, it's still just so relevant. And then I think it's a struggle between the woman that wants to be the perfect housewife and the woman that wants to do whatever she wants with her life. I really loved how Jennifer Niven talked about those things in a time when it was a lot more difficult to talk about it. And then also I really like how she gave Dell the vulnerability that he had when he finally talks to Guy about Kelly, but I thought it was also hilarious that he seemed more like upset about Guy dropping out of law school than admitting that he was in love with a man. I just thought it was some really good humor, but also probably realistic in that time. And then, yeah, I mean, overall, I really liked it. I have some favorite quotes. I don't know if you want me to hold those, Mike, or if you want me to go ahead and say them.
Let's hear them.
Okay. I think my favorite quote, and I think the reason it's my favorite quote is because I always try to put myself in a situation of someone from the past. One of my favorite things to say is we're standing on the shoulders of giants. And I think this kind of resonates with that. It was when Renee was talking to Juliet after Juliet had done the interview with Dinah. And Juliet was complaining, like, women like her hold us back, and was saying a bunch of things. And Renee responds, just because the door isn't open as wide as you want it doesn't mean she didn't have to kick it in before you got there. Like, I really thought about that. And I said that's just so true of so many women that came before us and really broke glass ceilings and opened doors for us. And they did the best that they could when they could.
That
And
one
then
highlighted as well.
And then another one when Dinah was talking about her crazy Aunt Sally, the one that had hysteria, but she really just did not want to get married and have children or remarry and have children. But Dinah said, she told me, I have to spend so much time with myself. I want to be good company. And I really liked that. And then she also said, you don't have to turn heads to be beautiful, which I thought was a powerful statement. And then the last one I'll say was when Dale was talking to Dinah after he had woken up and realized what was going on. He said, so now you're the man of the house. Is that it? And she said, no, I'm the woman of the house.
Yeah.
But I really love this. I really love this book. I gave it 5 stars.
Crystal.
I am the same. It was a 4.5-star read, and it made my women's studies major self so happy. I absolutely loved it. And just the way she brought in that 1960s feminism and such, she honored it the way that it was, and also made sure it touched all of the female characters. I nerded out through almost the entire book. It was such a great reference to go back and see how far we've come. Like, I had the same quote highlighted. I couldn't stop nerding out. And this was people's realization. And there was still a lot that relates today. One of the things that Dinah said was truth was at 43, she was discovering there was a lot that she knew nothing about. And I feel the same exact way, not as a stay-at-home mom, but as a woman at 43, I feel like there's still a lot that I know nothing about and that I'm learning about every single day. And just to see the characters' evolution and just feeling okay with themselves. The more we went into the book and finding themselves and going on those journeys was just great to read. Had a lot of quotes. Loved that she was fantasizing about her neighbor in the grass.
Tad or Ted.
Yeah. Tad or Ted or whatever his name is mowing the grass. Absolutely loved it. And one of the quotes I loved was that they were rolling across the grass in his arms, their middle-aged joints popping and crackling. And I was like, yes. Definitely feeling cracking and popping at 43. So it was such a realistic point of view. And Juliet reminded me of myself when I was going to get my women's studies master's degree, and a lot of myself in my 20s and early 30s. And one of the things she said was that I highlighted from her was when she said, smile, but not too broadly, lest he think you're too eager to please. Look serious, but not too serious, so he doesn't think you're a bitch or worse, a shrew. It was exhausting having to constantly control one's face. And I feel like that quote still resonates today in male dominated industries, corporate America, right? Where as a woman, you still need to watch your face, try to be honest, smile at the right times, and don't come across as a bitch. Yeah, I can't. I just absolutely loved it. And seeing how far we've come, there's still fights to go for everyone in this world, not just women, but every person out there. So I can't. It was a 4.5-star book, and I'll keep raving about it and going through the 500 quotes that I highlighted. So I'll just stop now.
Sarah.
I really enjoyed it. I loved how it was written. I mean, Jennifer's a great author, so I mean, that wasn't in doubt, but I loved the sections because they were just so unique. You know, the fact that there was the before the accident and then once Del was in the coma, and then I loved when they show up at the hospital, and again, spoiler alert, when they show up at the hospital and he's actually awake, and Shep is like, oh shit, or oh fuck, sorry. That just, I don't know. And then the rest of the book is after him coming out of the coma. I don't know, just the setup was amazing. And I really loved the multiple point of views, because like being able to like see Flora's, the housekeeper's perspective,
Yes.
like I like lived for those scenes.
Absolutely.
It
it was
really-
Flora's and Kelly's. I was excited to get the point of view of.
Yeah, and
Yes.
it wasn't a lot of it, but it was such a nice perspective and a different perspective, and that's what I really liked. But it touched a lot on a lot of different types of people, different walks of life, all the different things, along with a lot of historical things. And I found myself, I kept on Googling stuff while I was reading it to be like, oh, is this a real person or is this a made up person? You know, and she did a really nice job making you interested. And, you know, I'm a dorky person. I'm on a book podcast, obviously, but I didn't learn a lot of history past 1960s because we ran out of time in my school. And I never got to take a women's studies class. So like, I feel like learning about the women involved in birth control and the fact that she got their names in the book, I literally spent time on their Wikipedia pages, like while reading. Like, so it did take me longer because I kept on looking up stuff, which I think is really cool. And I really did like all the characters, you know, and the ones you're not supposed to like head of CBS, you're like, grr. But I also liked the different messages, and I really liked the whole fact that communication, like you have to talk to people to understand people. You can't read people's minds. You can't make assumptions. You have to talk, and you have to talk even when it's uncomfortable. And so there were parts, in my opinion, that felt a little repetitive, but I think it needed to be repetitive in order to get to the conclusion, because things aren't going to be perfect right away. And I liked that there was some predictability to some of it, in the sense that sitcoms used to be predictable. So it kind of felt like you were watching a 30-minute I Love Lucy, where in the end you knew they were going to pull off the show. But then I also loved that then they got canceled. You know,
Yeah.
so it was really cool how she like wove in all of those aspects. So yeah, obviously I liked it. I keep on thinking about it. And I have quotes. Like there's something else I'm supposed to be saying. Most of my quotes are between Juliet and Dinah, but I did love all like the newspaper clippings in between, because it was just so obvious how fake all that stuff is most of the time and how cringy it was. And so I wrote down one of the earlier newspaper clippings said, it was written by quote quote Dinah, and it was, my husband always has the final word and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm like, oh, bark. So those just made me laugh. But then at one point, Juliet early on says to Dinah, but the world does not believe in women, and you aren't helping change anyone's mind. And then later on, they had a conversation where Dinah says, you can never understand how enormous women working in wartime 1940s was because you grew up in a completely different era. And then Juliet responds with plenty of the same bullshit which we inherited from you. And it just shows how generationally, you know, we're, like you said, we're getting further, but there's still more work to be done and more doors to kick down. And yeah, so those are all my quotes. So Mike, what do you got?
I also really enjoy the novel, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is her first adult novel.
It is, I believe.
Yeah, so I think recently a bunch of our favorite young adult authors have been making that leap into the adult space, and obviously they're having success with it. Obviously, Jeff Sentner is the one that we've talked about before with Colton Gentry. And I think even Emily Henry started as a young adult and then moved to adult, but no one really seems to remember her young adult books. It's all about the adult romances. I will say I did not like Del, and I was upset he woke up. Like when he woke up at the hospital, I was like, I think I had the same response as Shep did. I was like, fuck. Yeah. And then was pleased when he died a year after the finale aired.
Not gonna lie, I was the same way.
Because like he had like a mini redemption arc, but it wasn't full. Like him like jumping in when Guy was trying to direct, like you could tell like if that show had stayed on the air, Guy would have lost the directing role and it would have went back to Dell and Guy would have suffered from that. At least that's how I imagined it would have went. I think Dinah would have lost her creative side. She'd be stuck back in the actress role and not being able to go ahead and write those other TV shows that were in the epilogue chapters.
Right.
So I think I was excited that Dell died, and I think it helped the family that Dell died. I didn't have too many quotes, and I think a lot of the ones that you guys said did cover them. One I will say it was page 1 in the prologue. It was how to congeal a gelatin corned beef without losing its shape.
Ugh.
I was like, that's disgusting. But also, we're reading it right before St. Patrick's Day, so it was like so festive. And I could only hope that the gelatin was green
Ugh.
for St. Patrick's Day. And this was one scene between Juliet and Dinah where Juliet said, "You know, I've been angry at you for a long time." Dinah says, "Really?" dryly.
Oh, yeah.
You hit it so well.
I just love them.
And then the scene when Dinah comes back to the house, I think it's after Shep's birthday, and she goes to the fridge and she says it helped herself to the leftover cake in the fridge. Suddenly ravenous, she laid down her fork and ate with her hands. I was like, haven't we all been there? Maybe drunk, but we've all been in one of those moments before. No one else?
No, definitely.
No, definitely.
And then we talked about the neighbor before. So it's the scene where all the women go in their underwear into the water. And so it says, Dinah turned like the others to see the next door neighbor on his riding lawnmower, which upon seeing a half dozen women of multiple ages running nearly naked down the street, he'd driven headfirst into a palm tree.
Yeah, that's good.
And then the one quote at the end I did enjoy was when Shep quotes from his favorite book and Guy shrugs and says another quote and Shep seems like a little like off guard. And Guy's like, "It's your favorite book. Of course I read it." And I was like, oh, that whole time Shep thought that like Guy was pushing him off. It was such a nice quote to throw at the end. And also, Guy's a stupid name.
But it's such a 40s, 50s name.
I know.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, all of their names were like Shep. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. But Guy, though, it just seems like such a lazy name.
yeah.
If they had a girl, would the girl be named Girl?
No, probably Gal.
Ugh. Did anyone cast anyone for any of the characters? I'll start with Sarah.
Thanks. So I didn't cast anyone. However, I don't know if anyone has seen the show Hacks before.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And so I just kept on thinking of Deborah and Ava. Like, Juliet and Dinah were very similar to them in their, they got together, they were creatively brilliant together, they had good ideas together, but then they fought and walked away. And so I just kept on picturing them. So I guess if I cast anyone, I'd cast Deborah and Ava from Hacks.
Age-wise, you've done Dinah wrong.
Well, but that's the thing. That's why I didn't cast them as that. They just kept on popping in my head, their relationship.
Got it.
So I did no actual casting because in my head they were a TV show of their own.
Crystal?
For Dinah, I kind of went with Elizabeth Olsen, and this might just be because of WandaVision. Because I've seen her as a 1950. Yeah, I think that's what made me keep going to Elizabeth Olsen. And then for Juliet, now I can just see Hannah and buy her. And I'm like, nope, that wins. I thought of Florence Pugh because there was no definitive age for Juliet. So she could be in her 20s, she could be in her 30s. So I was like, which one would I go with? So I did Elizabeth Olsen and Florence Pugh. And then I really couldn't come up with anyone else. Maybe Kit Connor for Guy.
It's tough to cast the younger people in these books because a lot of people who play that age in movies are like 30. So
Right.
it seems weird to like know that and then cast it.
I tried, I was like, I cannot think of anyone for the remainder of the cast. Maybe Zendaya in there as well for her friend. Oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. Renee right now. But that's it. I really couldn't think of anyone. I got stuck on Elizabeth Olsen and just pictured WandaVision the entire time.
Yeah.
Katie?
So I had a few. I didn't necessarily get them all, but for Dale, I thought, like, if he was younger, I totally would have said John Hamm. If John Hamm was younger, sorry.
Yeah.
And then another one I thought of was James Marsden. I don't know. I just felt like he could do it. Then for Dinah, I thought like Blake Lively or Katherine Heigl would probably work because I was just thinking of the blonde, probably because of the cover of the book. For Juliet, immediately I said Jennifer Lawrence because I felt like she just has that attitude of Juliet.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think of age. But I think you're right. I liked how they didn't really give her an age that. Let's see. For Guy, I thought maybe Tom Holland because he kind of seems like that guy that always just wants to please everybody, which is kind of like what Guy was like. And then Shep, I picked Ben Hardy. I don't know if you guys know who he was. He was in like he was younger at the time, but he was in like X-Men Apocalypse, and he also was in. I think he was in The Conjuring, which I wouldn't know because I don't watch scary movies. But when I was looking him up, I thought I saw that he was in that too. But that's what I came up with.
Well, you came up with a lot.
Yeah, and they're really good.
Thank you.
I only could come up with Dinah, and Jessica Chastain was the person in my brain.
Oh,
Ooh.
it's a good one.
And I think she was in The Help, right?
I think so. That was a long time ago.
And like in my brain, like I like envisioning like it was like kind of like that like cast I was thinking of because like it would translate over well.
Mm-hmm.
But that's who I had.
Oh, you only had one?
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah. See, I try to give you a little bit of credit there.
Thanks. I think for me it was just hard because they were of a TV show, so I don't know why. In my head, I never even really tried to think of anyone else the whole time.
Yeah, I think if I could have cast these people with actresses and actors from like that era, I probably would have done better.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe when this episode launches, you can comment on it. Your follow up casting.
Well, I might do that.
I think most here have. Have you read anything else from Jennifer Niven, and will you continue to, Sarah?
Yes, I have. I've read All the Right Places, Holding Up the Universe, and When We Were Monsters. I absolutely adored all of them, but especially All the Right Places. That's still on my bookshelf, which I don't always keep a lot of books, partially because the book was amazing, but it's also one of my favorite book covers. And I definitely will continue to read her work.
Crystal?
I did read When We Were Monsters as well, and I think I was iffy after that, but after this book, I will definitely go back and read some more of her books and anything new she puts out.
I would say, like, I feel like all of her books are so different. You know, and I was thinking through that, they're just all very different.
I was very much waiting for like a twist in the first couple of chapters because of When We Were Monsters. So I was waiting for something, and then I had to take myself out of that and be like, nope, this is just what it is, and stop waiting for something because it was a totally different type of book.
Not like a mystery thriller, dark academia.
Yeah.
It's a book.
Right.
It's a,
Which that's like, I mean, All the Right Places is like a young adult, like you're going to cry like a lot during.
Oh, you're going to cry a lot.
okay, maybe not the next book I read then.
But it is one of my favorite books, though.
Yeah. All right.
The movie, however, was very disappointing because I love the book so much.
I don't think I ever watched the movie.
It's Elle Fanning and someone.
Oh, I do love Elle Fanning.
Yeah, I just like I feel like they didn't have enough chemistry, I think, to be the leads.
Yeah.
Katie?
Yes. So I read When We Were Monsters as well, and then I've read Breathless. And then, of course, this one. And I was going to say the exact same thing, Sarah. They're all so different. And I really like that from an author.
Yeah.
I can't believe I haven't read All the Bright Places, especially if it's one that makes you cry, because I love reading a book that makes me cry. That's like my favorite thing. So
And who brought that in your life?
I think this guy that does this podcast, I think his name's Mike.
I started Katie's sad girl era.
Nice.
It's been one of my best eras yet.
Yes, Breathless is on my list, and it's funny because I keep on not reading it because it's not in any of the libraries, and so I need to just buy it and read it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can probably get it for cheap off Amazon or.
I just added it to my wish list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm adding things to my wish list while you guys are talking. Like, all right.
And I think I've read all of her young adult and this one being her one adult. I think she has some middle grade books. I haven't read any of those.
Have you ever? They're the Velma books. Is that
Yeah.
Have you read those?
No, I haven't. I mean, I guess at some point I probably should if I want to say I've read all of her stuff, but.
Right. No, they're supposed to be really good.
Oh. Maybe I'll give those a shot soon. All right, so last question. Did you find the ending satisfying, Katie?
I did. So you guys have all kind of hit on a few things that I was going to say about the ending. I do think that it was super appropriate for the show to get canceled how it did. They went out on a bang. I kind of felt the same about Del. Like, I hated him, but I really thought he came a lot further than some of y'all like might give him credit for. And he fell into the life of the grandfather and got to spend a few years with his grandchildren before he died. I do think it was so appropriate that he died only a few years after the show ended, but I think that I gave him a little more credit for how quickly he grew in that time, that era of life after being the awful that he was. So I thought they did that well. And then I also really loved, and I didn't even mention this when I was talking about the first part of it. I love that Nick and Julia ended up together.
Yeah.
Because I really love how Nick supported her, like, because he also was a minority in a place that didn't have a lot of minorities, in a career that didn't have a lot of minorities at the time, and that it really broke my heart, and I cried when they said they had to wait for sex marriage, or sorry, not same sex, interracial marriage to be legalized before they could get married. It just another reminder of just how awful those times were. But yeah, I really enjoyed the ending, and I thought I don't really have any suggestions for how they could have done it better.
Crystal?
I agree. I don't even know what I can even add to anything. I really liked the end. I enjoyed that Guy and Kelly got to have their family together as well.
Mm-hmm.
And, Kelly just went behind the scenes so he could live as himself. I was okay with Del dying. He did mature. I'll give him a little bit of credit, but yeah, just not enough for me. And that could just be my feminist women's studies background where, nope, I demand more. But I really did enjoy how everything tied up nicely and not too extra bow on the top, but really nice. And that Shep still had a relationship with his daughter with Lori at the end, and that wasn't forgotten about. But that daughter was still there, and that, I enjoyed the romance. I loved that Juliet and Nick got their happy ending. She tied it up very, very well. And I liked that Dinah went on to work with now Ms. Magazine, that she was at the White House with Freddie Friedan, Gloria Steinem, and Shirley Chisholm. And I nerded out completely. I was like, that is the perfect way to end this arc of her finding herself and wanting to grow as a woman and start battling for women's rights. So loved it. Cannot give any notes.
Sarah?
Man, Crystal, I just got chills while you were talking about that. So
I know, I'm sitting here smiling. Yes, I totally loved it. I often don't love when things are tied up in a perfect bow, but I think a book like this about a sitcom that, it it needed to be all tied up, but I liked that there weren't all happy endings. I agree about everything you guys said about Dell, about everything. But then I also love the little things that, like, Shep and Eileen named their daughter Daisy, which is what Dell called Dinah, which to me, Dinah all along was like, I don't know if my boys actually care. And there were so many times throughout the book that it was so obvious how much those boys loved their mother. And I think that's a perfect example, like, to name your daughter after your mom's nickname, I think was really sweet. And I also loved, again, I'm bringing her up another time, but I love that Flora stayed with Dinah as keeping the house and all that, and that made her so happy to be with the family still and see all the grandkids. So yeah, again, it's the first time in a while I really liked the ending.
Yeah, obviously I agree with a lot of the sentiments that were said. I think we talked about if the show being canceled. I think if the show had not been canceled in the end, like, it would have been so unrealistic. Like, the execs were out to get them. So, like, yes, if they had this one good show that, like, went out with a bang, like, that wasn't going to be enough to save them. Like, the views that they were putting on that show was not aligning with the execs at CBS. So I'm glad that they went the route with canceling the show. Sad for them, but, good for the book.
Sorry, were you done about that? Because there was one other thing we didn't. I love Mrs. Sunbeam, by the way.
Yes.
I totally forgot to say that too.
Yes. The fact that she can convince her husband to, like, sponsor this whole show. And then when all the women were in the audience, I'm like, I loved her. Sorry.
No, you're good. My only other thing was I like that Dinah not only got to work with Julia on things, but also had a bunch of her own projects as well.
Yeah.
So it showed, like, she could grow not only from writing with Juliet, but also do it on her own. So she became the woman of the house, as she mentioned earlier in the book. Anything else about Meet the Newmans?
No.
Yeah. Just love it.
Everyone.
Yes. Yeah.
You want our listeners
It's so
to
great.
read it.
Yes, please. Please do.
And I'm really hoping we've been in contact before. I'm hoping that we can get an interview with Jennifer.
Ooh.
We've been in contact over Instagram, so I will obviously bring the same panel back on if we do get that to happen.
Well, I have so many questions I'd love to ask her about her motivation for this book and everything. But anyway, we can save that for when she comes on.
All right, so new segment for this week. We are going to discuss what we are currently reading and have read recently outside of this book, give some more recommendations to our listeners. So we'll start with Sarah. What are you currently reading, and what have you read recently and recommend to our listeners?
So I will admit I just finished this book yesterday. So I am not currently reading anything except for my nonfiction books, which always just are there. One is about the Natural History Museum and one is about the Broadway musical Moulin Rouge. Both are good, but those are slow on the back burner. I did just recently, I'm going down a big rabbit hole of Leigh Bardugo's books. I finished reading the Shadow and Bone trilogy and halfway through the Six of Crows duology. And that's what I literally picked it up and put it on my stack to read the second book of that. And when I go to the library on Wednesday, I'm going to grab the King of Scars duology along with, I think there's 2 or 3 like little side books. Hardcore in the world. We were on vacation when I finished Shadow and Bone trilogy, and I just kept on talking to my husband about it. And he's like, I don't really care, but I'll let you keep on going.
Okay.
But highly recommend it. She's such a good author. So I'm obsessed, basically, is my point.
I just today pre-ordered her book Deadbeat. It's the third one in the Ninth House series.
Nice.
Or Alex Stern series. Ninth House was the first book. And that comes out in September. So I'm excited for that to come out.
Nice. And Mike, you should read the Shadow and Bone trilogy.
I think I have them.
You should.
No, I have the Six of Crows one.
Oh, you do? Never mind. Then I don't care. I was going to put Six of Crows in your advent calendar for next year. But you should, just so you know, there's a lot of conversation. So it's called the Grishaverse, this whole world.
Yeah.
Technically, you can read them all as separate things, but you really should start with Shadow and Bone.
Got it. I think I might have that somewhere. There's so many fucking books in my office. Like I can see the Six of Crows duology on the shelf. I just don't know if there's other ones to go with it.
Yeah, no, but yeah, they were really good and they're quick reads. Like they were so fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the characters are so good. I loved them.
Because that's one thing about fantasy books. Sometimes they are long, or if they're not long, they drag just because of like the world building and trying to figure out how to pronounce character names.
And that's how I felt. I felt a little lost. So I read Six of Crows first. And partway through it, I'm like, I feel like I should know more than I know. Like, I don't understand what this person does. Like, they're blowing wind and causing the tornado. Like, what's happening? And then that's when I started seeing, like, she has on her website the order you should read these in. And that's when it does suggest you should read Shadow and Bone trilogy first. And I will say, like, it is fantasy. It's definitely fantasy. But it feels more like adventure than fantasy to me. I say that, and there are people that can like make your pulse stop and different things like that, but it feels, I don't know, it's really cool.
I think like earlier on the podcast this year, you did mention about wanting to read more fantasy. So look at you doing your goal.
And I said I wanted to read series, and Six of Crows was the first one I said I wanted to read. So this turned into 2 books, turned into 5 books, which is going to turn into 12 books. So, but it's worth it.
Great.
Crystal, same question.
Well, I'm adding Shadow and Bone to my wish list right now. Let's see. Currently reading. What am I currently reading? That's a good question. Semi-Well-Adjusted Despite Literally Everything by Alison Stoner. Just started that yesterday. Before that, I love Callie Hart. I don't know if anyone else has read Quicksilver and Brimstone. So,
Yep.
okay. I went and I downloaded Blood and Roses this weekend, thinking that was what I was getting into. No, this is more of a dark romance. There is no fantasy in this at all. I was roped in within a chapter, read it in about a day, and the last sentence just absolutely pissed me off. And I sat there staring off into space, angry at the book, while my husband looked at me and asked if I was okay. I'm not. And I have to wait till 2027 until the next book. And I'm very, very upset about that. However, great book. If you like dark romance, it's a good one to read with dark romance, a little bit of mob, and, you know, the girl who gets roped into his life and shenanigans, I guess we'll say. Loved it. If you like Callie Hart, you'll enjoy that book. Other than that, I read The Shots You Take by Rachel Reed because I desperately just needed a Rachel Reed book in my life.
And there's one of the 2 standalones I haven't read yet. I think that's the one I read.
I really enjoyed it.
It was really good.
It was really good, and I was about to start doing a Heated Rivalry reread, but I was like, no, you know what? Let me go with that. Reheat, yes. I mean, I've only watched the show, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, who knows how many times. And we'll be at Heated Rivalry Day with Hartford Prince because I need a Flash tattoo. But yeah, it was a great book. I highly suggest reading that one. And then I think next up, I'm going to go back and reread ACOTAR because I got to prep for book 6 in October.
Yeah.
And remember
too.
everything that happened. I don't guarantee I was going to start rereading Throne of Glass after I reread Heated Rivalry, but we're just going to pivot and go right to ACOTAR, and then I'll go to Throne of Glass.
Something to get the group all riled up about, and it's going to be directed towards Crystal. Sarah hasn't read or watched any of the Heated Rivalry universe.
Sarah, I'm so disappointed. I'm so very disappointed.
I would really like to read it, but I keep on having to do my homework for this podcast, and I was stuck in the...
I was like, oh, that's fine. I just heard you read off like 6 books you read.
There were 6 other books there. This is only, 7? It's fine.
So yes, no, Heated Rivalry is like really close up on my next list. But the fact that I haven't watched it yet too is like killing me, but I want to read it first. So, and can I, since you guys all know, book 1 and 2 is the show, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe
And
I'll
watch
do that
it.
next.
And
Immediately.
I read them 1, 2, 6, 3, 4, 5.
I read them in order.
Why would you not read them in order?
Well, because 6 is a continuation of 2's story.
Yeah.
But there are things that happen in 3, 4, and 5. It's about other characters, like the characters from 2 pop up in 3, 4, and 5. But I felt like I didn't miss anything by reading them out of order.
I will probably do what Crystal did.
I did. I'm one of those people. I have to read everything in order except for Throne of Glass. I didn't read that in order.
She tells you not to, right?
Yeah, and I did the tandem read of 2 of the books just to make my life easier.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Questions, but I can say them.
it is for. Hold on, I'm looking at the book, so I don't lie to you. Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. There's a tandem read that you can do, so it doesn't leave you on a cliffhanger, and you can keep reading everything in order.
Oh,
That's smart.
Interesting. Yeah, I just read them in order, but I will admit I did not read Heated Rivalry in order either. Actually, I haven't even finished it. I've just read 1, 2, and 6.
no, I thought you were going to say that you
Thankfully.
hadn't read any of them, and then I would feel
No, Sarah. No.
No.
Well, maybe I will download them right when I get off this call, since I don't have a book started.
I'm pretty sure on average, Katie and I send each other 5 to 10 heated rivalry related TikToks a day.
Well, it's so funny
that's
because
true story.
I watch all the things about it on Instagram. I don't know what's happening, but I like what's happening.
I like what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I got a text from one of my mini book club. We call ourselves the Smut Sisters because we like to read smut. And one of my friends was like, I haven't found any new smut to read lately. And she was like, I think it's because all of my Instagram is Heated Rivalry and it won't give me any new recommendations for smut. And I was like, same, but that's acceptable as well.
Yeah,
All the Heated
there's
Rivalry.
no need.
Yeah.
I just need Heated Rivalry. It's fine.
All I
I'll
know,
download it right when we're done.
all I know is that this show has been finished for almost 3 months at this point, and I'm enjoying that this gay hockey romance show is still enjoying all this attention. It's just very shocking.
Same. I'm also really interested in Celeste finding out that Sarah has not watched or read Heated Rivalry.
Oh,
Just need Celeste's reaction to this.
I think you get it on a podcast.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it.
I think I was on that podcast.
Yeah, so it's the one that's coming out next, I think.
Oh, okay. Then I'll be.
Yes, I got yelled at Ben as well. So I will definitely, now that I feel better. I was really worried about Meet the Newmans because I started it way later than I should have. So
Sarah and I would recommend, at least for the first book, that you read it and not audiobook it.
oh yeah, I would read them all.
The voices for the first book, I've only heard clips, but they're fucking terrible.
Yeah, no, my audiobook game right now is really slow. Like, it took me 2 months to listen to a 6-hour audiobook. So
That non-commute life.
yeah, and there's been no races, so I don't go anywhere. So
Katie, same question to you.
What was the question?
Sorry.
What are you reading?
What am I reading? Okay, sorry.
We on a tangent there.
So I will say that I did read Meet the Newmans twice, but before I started it the first time, because I read it a little early, but before I started the first time, I read this book, How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates by Shelley Thompson. I think it was her debut, but it was super cute. And when I say read, I'm sorry, I'm primarily an audiobook person, so I really mean listen. But it was this really cute premise about a girl that's obsessed with horror films and goes to this speed dating event, and then it turns into this person who is trying to win her love by killing the people at the speed dating event. It was really unique storyline, and I got a kick out of it. It was really entertaining. And then I read Meet the Newmans. And then this was not provoked by anyone that leads this podcast. But after that, I did reread Kings of Beacon by Mike Jakubowski. And then read Joey and the Ocean of Possibilities, because as a terrible friend like I am, I hadn't read that one yet, and I felt really bad about it. But what was great about it is I loved it, and it reminded me that I loved Kings of Beacon. I read Kings of Beacon over time, so doing a re-listen this time instead of actually reading it, I got a lot more out of it. And then I just love Joey and the Ocean of Possibilities, and of course Mike Made Cry, which I love. As I've already mentioned, I love crying. And then I read Meet the Newmans again. And then I just started this book called First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. And I got this one from the Book of the Month. I'm an advocate of Book of the Month because they've been sending books to people for like over 100 years. So it was one of the Book of the Month finalists. And I didn't actually get it in my Book of the Month, so I figured I would listen to it. So I just started it though, but it sounds cute.
I have 2 questions for you. One, let me know how that book is, because it's currently downloaded on my Kindle. I'm very excited.
Okay.
And 2, did you have any favorite characters in Joey?
Well, I honestly, from a pure lust and desire, I think Kari was my favorite.
Oh.
But of course, one of the things that I think I told Mike is I love how Luca got to see how it would be after Joey went through all of that. And also I totally called out your character, Sarah, in your book. I know that Sarah was there. But
it very much isn't me, but it is me.
It's a sassier version of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun when Katie finished reading. She's like, "Can I ask author questions now?" I'm like, "Of course."
Oh, I love that.
I know. I said this is the best author talk I've ever been to after we finished talking about it. But it was so good. And I love Kings of Beacon, but I just thought Joey and the Ocean of Possibilities. I just love the mysticism of it and the whole premise of it. And then of course that some of it was loosely based off of Mike's life, and I just loved it.
Nice.
You heard it here first, people.
Now I need to reread.
I know, and that was not prompted by Mike at all. It was just timing. I was like, this is the perfect time for me to do this, knowing that Mike's 3rd novel is going to be coming out soon. So I need to just do it, because why am I waiting?
So
since we're plugging, when does Joey's audiobook come out?
it's already out.
It's already out. Graham Halstead did a great job, by the way. He did really awesome.
Wait, did I not listen to both?
It came out. It came out like February 5th or 7th or something. It's been out for over a month.
I didn't listen to Joey yet. Sorry, I forgot about that. Sorry,
he does
before I
really
went
good
on vacation.
So I'm a super bad author and I haven't listened to them yet. And the reason why I haven't is because after I finish book 3, book 4 is going to be the James and Grady follow-up. And so I'm waiting to listen to Kings before writing that one. And then one of my other ideas is to do, I'm going to call the series The Possibilities. So all the people from Joey that didn't end up with him get their own spin-off book.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Do they all
The
have
baseball player.
And so the baseball player is going to be the first one.
I was going to say, do they all have to have a spinoff?
They don't all have to have a spinoff.
Oh wait, he dies. Never mind, right?
No, the
The
one that you're not a fan of lives.
Sorry.
So
sorry, you're a real life person.
So there is one not really a spoiler for our listeners, but there is a character that Sarah in real life did not care for and threatened to mail a box of toenail clippings and use Band-Aids to.
Oh my God.
And that's based on a true quote.
He was not nice to Mike.
You know what? I'll support it. I'm here for it.
And it was just one of those things I knew had to make it into the book.
It was hilarious. I loved it.
Thank you, Katie, for reminding us that all the audiobooks are out, because now that makes my next audiobook easy. Easy choice.
All right, so I guess that leaves me for reads. So books I finished recently, ones that were okay. I read Doctor Sleep by Stephen King. It was fine. It was long. I don't know. I just feel like some of his books are good, but some are just kind of drag on. I think that one, I listened to that one. It was like a 19-hour audiobook. I read a book called Only Light Left Burning. It was a sequel. It's about like kind of like end of the world, super flu, kind of kills off like almost all the population. That was good. And I read another one called Our Infinite Fate by, I think her name's Lauren Steven. And essentially the premise of that one is it's two people who are always stated to meet and be with each other, but one of them always kills the other by their 18th birthdays.
Wow. Was that good?
It was good.
Interesting.
I think I have that on my list.
And then currently I'm reading The Silent Patient. That's my audiobook currently. I haven't read that one yet. I've read a couple other ones by the author. The Brothers Hawthorne I'm reading, which is in the Inheritance Game series, which Sarah confused with like one of the other books when I talked to her about it.
Sorry.
She's like, no spoilers. I'm like,
has a lot of books.
she's like, no spoilers. I'm like, you read this like a year ago. And then I started today Run by Blake Crouch, which seems like it's going to be kind of like a end of the world scenario book too, but it's so far it's pretty good. I love everything by Blake Crouch. Dark Matter is a book I will recommend to anyone.
Absolutely. I want you to tell me what you think of Silent Patient when it was done, because that lands on one of my list of everybody seems to love it, but I didn't necessarily love it. I thought it was a little predictable. So I'm really curious of what you think, because I'm starting to think I need to reread it.
No, I agree with you. I thought it was predictable as well. So you're not
Okay.
not the only one on that one.
No, you're probably fine because like that book for me is the perfect marriage by Geneva Rose. Everyone loves that book, and I read it and I was like, no, this is not good. I'm sorry if I offend anyone in this call who enjoyed that book.
Never read it, so you're fine.
But it got a sequel and I saw it and I was like, absolutely not. All right, so I think that brings us to our bullshit topic of the week, which is sitcoms. Since, Meet the Newmans is about a sitcom show in the 1950s, 1960s, we're going to talk about sitcoms in general. Our first question is, what are your favorite 3 sitcoms of all time? And I'm going to start with Sarah, because as of about 3 p.m. today, she had 17 on her list. So,
oh my God, I was the same way, Sarah. I was literally talking to coworkers trying to help me out on this because I was having the worst time.
You can give a top 3, and you can give 3 honorable mentions if you'd like.
3 honorable mentions. Okay. So again, I had 17 and it was really hard. My top 3 are going to be Seinfeld, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and How I Met Your Mother. My honorable mentions are Parks and Rec, Friends, and I can't pick a third. No, I'm going to go with Brooklyn Nine-Nine because we're watching it currently and I'm obsessed. So there we go.
And so while we have you, what is your least favorite sitcom?
So I've never watched, I feel bad like giving a least favorite, having never fully watched it. But Big Bang Theory, sorry for everyone who loves it. I abhor it. And then Frasier and Two and a Half Men. Those are mine.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
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 Katie.
I thought I was on mute.
Katie.
Frasier is one of those ones that I think I need to rewatch as an adult because I only ever saw it as a kid. So.
Well, this is very timely for me to go next. It's totally fine. So I knew this would be a fun topic because I knew there would be lots of conflicting answers. But my 3 favorite, number 1 is Golden Girls, 2 is Friends, and 3 is Frasier. That was my top 3. Now that I know that we could do honorable mentions, I would say that in honorable mention, I do have 30 Rock. I have How I Met Your Mother, and then I have Coupling, which was a British show that was only a couple of seasons, but it's hilarious. At least the first 3 seasons were hilarious.
By the way, Katie, you just made me circle Frasier because I have contemplated because my husband loves him, and because he loved Cheers. So, I'm like, maybe we should rewatch it.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed to say this, but my boyfriend and I have done the like whole rewatch from start to finish, I think twice, and it's like 11 seasons. Like I can't explain it, but
And your least favorite?
so I had a hard time with this because much like books, I'm like really easy to please when it comes to like TV because I grew up like I felt like I was like raised by TV. So I picked Joey, the spinoff from Friends, because I actually recently tried to rewatch it and I was like, this is the worst shit I've ever seen.
All right. And so before we go to Crystal, there's one on the list I'm surprised hasn't been said yet. So I'm going to wait to see if Crystal says it.
Oh no. Okay. I couldn't come up with a top 3, but I'll narrow down my 6. Top 3: How I Met Your Mother, Scrubs, and Friends. I pretty much went with those 3 shows that I know I can put on when I'm traveling for work or whatever, and I'll just be happy. And I do watch How I Met Your Mother on like a daily basis. And then honorable mentions, we'll go with New Girl, Ted Lasso, and Schitt's Creek.
Oh, so good.
Sorry, you said so many of mine. Like there was like, do I do like favorite 3 from like growing up and like 20s, or do I do favorite 3 from now? It was a whole conversation that I had with coworkers.
I might be changing one of my lists right now because I didn't even think of one.
You stressed us out. You stressed us out. I was very stressed about this all day. Least favorite, I'm the same. I can't think of something I genuinely don't like unless no, that was my overrated sitcom. I don't know. I might get a lot of flack for this, but I never watched like The Office when it was running originally, and literally I only see it when Craig rewatches it on Comedy Central, and I've seen probably the same 5 episodes 30 times. But it's not that show that I am going to go and put on myself to sit and rewatch. So for that, I will put that as my least favorite.
All right. So for me, I did my 3 favorites based on what ones I can watch over and over and over again. So like a show could be potentially better, but I won't ever watch it again all the way through, where these 3 I can just constantly rewatch over and over. So it's Schitt's Creek. That was the one I was surprised no one had said until Crystal put it in her honorables.
It's on my list.
Happy Endings. If you have not watched Happy Endings, it was a 3-season show on ABC. Phenomenal. And I didn't have this one originally until I was looking up lists online, and I realized that cartoon sitcoms could also be on the list, and American Dad went right on the list.
See, I struggle so much with this.
See, your list is exactly what I expected, except I expected Golden Girls on yours.
I've never seen it all the way through. I've only seen episodes here or there.
What?
You know this. B talks about it all the time.
That's a Brendan thing, right? From what I've heard.
Yes, and eventually I will do the watch. All right, so my bonus ones, It's Always Sunny, and I'm gonna have to give a 4th one because Crystal threw me off. I originally had Curb Your Enthusiasm and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I feel like Ted Lasso has to be on the list.
Yeah. It's just so much happiness.
Yes.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I added it to my list. So I'm currently up to 19. Because I also added BoJack, which is less of a sitcom. It's darker, but...
Least favorite, I came up... So this was one where if it's a show where I'm watching something, it's the show coming on after, and I try to turn it off as soon as possible, it made the list, which was King of Queens, 2.5 Men, and George Lopez.
Ooh, okay.
Oh. Are you okay?
Yeah. No, sorry, that was me processing the 3 things. I'm surprised by King of Queens. I thought that show was hilarious, but I totally feel the other 2. That was why the okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I need to mute myself.
No.
Sarah, what is a sitcom you feel is overrated?
I don't want to say it again.
Say it.
Big Bang.
If
but
it
it's
makes
just I don't understand it. I like that other people like it.
if it makes you feel better, I also said it, and then with the caveat of and how it got multiple spin-offs.
It has spin-offs?
It has 2.
I didn't. Spin-offs are not worth it. I am a Big Bang. Yeah, I'm a Big Bang fan, but I don't watch the spin-offs. That's just let it be. Let it die. It's okay.
And I'm saying it's overrated. Like, I watched the whole series, but like, if it comes on reruns now, like, I don't want to watch it, and that's why like I put it in the overrated category. Like, I don't want to watch it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal,
I did 2.5 Men as my overrated. That kind of went into the least favorite. Like, there's a couple I can watch, but rewatching it, I can't anymore.
Katie.
So I'm feeling the 2.5 Men. I totally must have blocked that sitcom out. I didn't like it or I think it's overrated, but that's not what I wrote down. So let me get to what I wrote down. The Office is what I wrote down, and not necessarily because I didn't like it. I just think it's overrated. Like, it is not something that I choose to watch on reruns like a bunch of other stuff. So it's not that I didn't like it. It's just overrated. That's how I got to that conclusion.
I almost put that there too, and as someone who likes the show, it's just like I never think, like, it never crosses my mind to watch reruns of it.
Yeah.
And like, people are obsessed with the show, so I think that's where I was leaning to almost putting it in that category.
It was one of the first ones I crossed off out of my 17. Because I loved it when I watched it, but I've never rewatched an episode ever.
Yeah.
Sarah's like, I had the whole top 100 on my list.
I love things. I can't help it.
Crystal, top 3 favorite sitcom characters.
This one also killed me. I was so stressed about this, but I went with David Rose, Phoebe Buffay, and Nick Miller from New Girl.
Oh,
although now I just want to put every single member of Ted Lasso on there as well.
Yeah.
I stopped.
Katie.
So I've never watched Ted Lasso. I don't have Apple TV, but I hear it's great. But here are my 3 favorite sitcom characters. I said Rose Nyland, which is from Golden Girls. Then my second was Moira Rose. And then I could not nail down a third, so I did a tie between Elaine from Seinfeld and Sue Ann Nivens from Mary Tyler Moore, who was also played by Betty White, which was just such a great character if you haven't watched Mary Tyler Moore's show.
Sarah.
I'm not saying 3.
How many are you saying?
I don't know. I'll decide once I get there. So I have Sophia from Golden Girls, Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Charlie from Always Sunny, Barney from How I Met Your Mother.
Yes.
I can stop there, but I'll say Ron Swanson, Kramer, and Lucy. Sorry.
Crystal, is it you I haven't asked yet?
Nope, I went.
Is it just me? If
you ask me again, then I'll keep going.
Yeah, same. I feel like this was like picking your favorite kitten out of a litter. Like, it's really hard.
There's no way.
It was really hard.
So I had Moira as one
Yeah.
of mine. I couldn't choose between them, so I'm grouping them together. Brad and Jane from Happy Endings. They're a married couple.
Yep.
And then obviously Roger the alien from American Dad.
Into Roger.
And then I'll kick off least favorite sitcom character, and I only had one, and I only
You're
needed
gonna say
one.
mine.
Oh, you're the one I missed. Go ahead,
No,
Sarah.
I'm saying you're gonna say my least favorite, probably.
Is it Ted Mosby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Ted Mosby.
Ted.
All right. So Sarah's and mine is Ted. Crystal.
I had 2 because I couldn't decide. Season 9 of Scrubs, all the new interns they brought in.
Oh.
Season 9 should have never happened with Scrubs in the first place, but whatever. So any of the new little interns that came in, I can't. I just skipped that season. I never rewatch it. And then Rachel and Boy Meets World, which I'm listening to the Rewatch podcast and rewatching with Pod Meets World and just cannot stand that character.
Who is Rachel? Why can't I?
She came in when they went to college. She was like the tall redhead down the hall that came in.
Yep.
Yeah, and then there's all the drama in real life as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, least favorite character, definitely.
Katie?
I said Ross in the first season of Friends.
My husband would love you for that. He hates Ross.
He really took some working to fill out his character, and he was so annoying in the first season.
Crystal, a sitcom that lost its way in later seasons.
Well, they kind of tie to actually my least favorite character. I said Boy Meets World, having done the rewatch podcast with them and grown up and absolutely loved Boy Meets World. It's one of my comfort shows, but the last couple seasons, yeah, they went sideways with that and went a little weird. And the last season of Scrubs, because it didn't need to happen. Season 9 never needed to happen, and it was horrible.
Sarah?
I wrote Arrested Development had its seasons that were weird and like too weird, but I still loved them. And then also Northern Exposure needed to stop sooner than later, but that whole show is quirky. So,
Katie?
I said The Good Place. I'm not sure if that counts as a sick, but
it does.
What I will say is that I watched this independent of my boyfriend, and then I rewatched it with him, and he decided to stop watching it at the exact same place I decided to stop watching it. So this is the only one I didn't struggle with. The only question.
I kind of have 3. How I Met Your Mother, like the last season, like I don't know what they did with that season, but like it was frustrating and rushed in a weird way, but also drawn out. It didn't work. Arrested Development, like Sarah said, and I say that with the first 3 seasons were great, but when Netflix picked it back up for the second or the 4th and 5th season, they just didn't need to happen. It didn't add anything to the show. And then The Office, like after Michael Scott left, that's when the show should have ended.
You're so right. That just plays into my overrated. I totally forgot that even happened.
Jeez.
All right. And if given the book, do you or did you watch any 50s or 60s era sitcoms, and which ones were your favorite? And I know Katie loves them, so we'll start with Katie.
Yes, and I will be quick. I did. I grew up watching Nick at Night. I used to stay up all night when I wasn't in school. My parents thought it was so weird, but I love the Dick Van Dyke Show. And on the show, they had a female comedy writer because it was all about writing a comedy show. Sally, who I just loved. I loved I Love Lucy, of course. I love Donna Reed. It was really funny. One time I got mad at my mom and I said, "Why can't you be more like Donna Reed?" And she said, "Well," she said in my mom's fashion, "Why can't you be more like Donna Reed's daughter?" And I said, "Well, you're a bitch." But anyway, I was a child. It's fine. So those were some of the, like, Dobie Gillis. I could go on forever. But then also bled into like the 70s. I just have to plug these because Mary Tyler Moore. I think I'm like obsessed with the state of Minnesota, and I think it has to do with Mary Tyler Moore. She was just such a pioneer for women working in a newsroom. And then Taxi and Mork and Mindy, like, I just love all that old shit, and that was like what I watched when I was a kid instead of cartoons, including the Golden Girls, which that was just new when I was a kid because that's how old I am.
Crystal?
I had to Google to make sure I was in the right time frame, but definitely I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched, and then Jetsons and Flintstones. Like,
I forgot about those. Yes.
Oh, yeah. On repeat, the Jetsons and Flintstones. My friend and I constantly say to each other, the Jetsons lied to us. We do not have a robot cleaner in our house.
Flying car.
And we don't have flying cars. And we're very upset that the Jetsons lied to us as children. And we're still not over it. But those were watched a lot, especially Bewitched, too.
Sarah?
I agree with what you guys all said. Growing up, I had a little 12-inch TV in my bedroom that I would sit in front of when I was supposed to be in bed at night, like really close with the sound low, and I would be watching all of these shows, and Dick Van Dyke, Mary Tyler Moore, but I Love Lucy is like my favorite. And the best was when I moved into college, my roommate brought the entire box set of it, so we would just watch it all through college. to me, she's one of the best ever. I was like, that's why she made her way into one of my favorite characters for sitcoms, because she's just awesome. But then like even shows like The Monkees and Gilligan's Island and Addams Family, like there was a lot of, they talked about it in the book a little bit. There was a lot of quirky shows in the 50s, 60s, and then 70s that came out. Like Addams Family, the fact that's from the 60s.
Yes.
Bonkers.
Yes. Yeah.
And the Monsters.
Yeah,
the Monsters.
Love it. And I loved Laverne and Shirley.
I did
the
too.
whole song. I would dance like them down the street. So, it was a good time.
Laverne and Shirley was a backup answer to one of the future questions that's going to be asked.
Nice.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. When I was younger, I definitely watched a lot of Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie. I think I watched I Love Lucy a bit too, but I think the Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie were the two main ones that were played in my house. All right, so last question. If you could reboot any sitcom, what would it be? And we'll start with the mystery of Katie.
Yeah, that was some spoiler since there was only one question left. So Laverne and Shirley was what came to mind first, but then I thought about it, and I think the best show to reboot would be All in the Family, only because I think it would be super relevant in today's time. You have we'll just call him a stubborn dad, and then like the hippie son, and dealing with all of the things that were going on in the 70s. And I think they could really just redo that very well in today's environment. And then my second was clearly Laverne and Shirley, because we love them.
Would you do All in the Family with like today's issues, or just reboot it as their time?
I would reboot it as a family dealing with today's issues that have conflicting beliefs.
I will say there is a show. Oh gosh, why can't I think of it? Tim Allen's newest show with Kat Denning, where they try to do that, and it's pure, goes back to true sitcom, and they try to do that here and there with her and her kids, and she moves back into the house, and his views versus her views. So they try to hit on that a little bit as well. So if you're looking for something like that, it's an okay option to have in the background.
You really
Thank
sold.
you. That's good to know.
It's an okay option.
Well, I wanted it more. I wanted more like Kat Denning's fiery, but it's not as fiery as I would like it to be.
I do love Two Broke Girls.
Yeah, that was the one I was going for. That's what I wanted. That was not it.
Crystal, show?
I couldn't think of one. Rebooted / restarted. I started thinking about all those shows that got canceled due to COVID and random cliffhangers. It wasn't a comedy, but I absolutely loved Stumptown with Kobe Smulders. It got one season on ABC. It was great. And then COVID hit and it never came back. And then Schmigadoon on Apple TV also got canceled right after COVID. And I would have loved to see the next era of Broadway that was coming up. So those are the only things I could have thought of for rebooting. I mean, we've tried to reboot some shows and it just has not been good. So I'm not hoping that on anyone. The reboot of Scrubs so far is okay, but I'm still tentative on that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen the greatest reviews of it, but it's all in whose reviews you're seeing.
Exactly.
Sarah?
So I wrote down all of them and none of them, because I feel like I always like how a show ends. And so like you're saying, I don't know. I worry if they try to reboot some of them. But then I do wish there was more, if there could be more Curb Your Enthusiasm, that would be amazing. But I don't know there needs to be. So that's my non-answer.
Your non-answer answer?
Yep.
Mine would be Happy Endings, just because it was only 3 seasons. And I feel like if they could, I think it'd be like a restart rather than reboot, because if it starts filming now, it'd almost be like 15 years after the last season aired. So it could be like a jump forward to like where they were.
That would be a good one.
But that would be my choice. All right, so that brings us to everyone's favorite segment, the rapid response segment. Does everyone need to have a reminder of how this works, or are we good to go?
Good.
Well aware.
We're good.
All right. So we will start with Katie. So some of these will be multiple choice, and some of these will be a fill in the blank. Are you ready?
I am ready.
An overrated band or musician.
You too.
Most overrated fast food chain.
Arby's.
Chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry ice cream.
Chocolate.
What is the best drunk food?
Anything someone else makes for me.
Name a celebrity you think would be awful to meet.
Oof. Angelina Jolie.
And the most overrated movie of all time.
Ugh. I don't have an answer.
Name something.
Yeah. Um. Oh, that movie, The Tenant, I think, is what it's called.
The Tenant.
Does that ring a bell?
Everyone will have to Google that one after this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal,
I'm scared. Yep.
an overrated band or musician.
Oh my God, I can't think of anything.
There's got to be someone you hate that everyone else loves.
Well, I mean, I hate Nickelback, but everyone hates Nickelback.
They
That's
have
the
a
first
fan-
thing that came. That's the first thing that came to mind.
People show up at their shows.
Yes.
I mean, true. That's what came to mind. I don't know why, but it's just because I can't stand them.
Most overrated fast food chain.
I'm gonna go with Wendy's.
Chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry ice cream.
Vanilla.
Best drunk food.
McDonald's.
Yes. Celebrity you think would be awful to meet.
I love her, but Taylor Swift. I
And
feel like if you meet her on a bad day, it'd be bad.
Yeah.
most overrated movie.
These are horrible questions. I'll go with the worst movie I saw recently. If I had legs, I'd kick you.
That was
Rose
bad?
Byrne. We stopped watching it. It is not funny. There is no comedy in this. I don't know.
It's very depressing. Like,
I love her though.
I love her, and we thought it would be a comedy. We stopped watching it. We couldn't do it anymore.
no. I read a review after we watched it that said that if you have any anxiety, you should not watch it.
That's probably why we stopped watching it.
Yep.
All right, Sarah, last one.
Yep.
An overrated band or musician.
I'm saying sorry to Eric, but U2 is the first thing that popped in my head as well.
Most overrated fast food chain.
I'm going to go with Burger King.
Chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry ice cream.
Vanilla.
Best drunk food.
I'm going with pizza.
Celebrity you think would be awful to meet.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
That was without a pause.
Wow, but so true.
Sorry. Also, I feel like somehow she knows I don't like her and pulling that with me.
You mentioned that before in a
She
previous
has.
podcast.
I have.
And the most overrated movie.
Because Celeste said it on a past podcast and I've been thinking about it, Avatar.
Oh my God. There you go. That's true.
Yep. So that one's to Celeste.
Have you seen it?
Yes. Question mark. I saw part of the first one and then one of them was on when I was at jury duty. And that's the most of an Avatar I've watched. And it was pretty bad.
Interesting.
Yep.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. I